looks like as of now, after Thursday Night Football, again, the Lions retain real estate 12-1. Unbelievable start, but it's about how they finish in December as the Lions now have to prepare to play the Bills next. The Eagles look great as well. But the NFC North, as it stands, is locked in with the Lions up top. They can still jockey for position beneath Detroit, but they are atop their division right now. And a lot of it has to do with going for it on fourth down. Manti, as a game, the Lions were 4 for 5 going for it. So that final decision, though, you heard Coach say, heck of a call by Ben Johnson, but ultimately it's his decision to have that kind of aggressiveness.
You know, I love it. I love the word that, if you listen to what Dan Campbell said, he said, I felt. He didn't say, I think. He plays and he coaches with this. He doesn't. Some coaches, they call plays with the brain and the mind and all that. That's all good and all, but he coaches with the heart, and he says, I believed in my offense. I believed in my players. That is what encompasses this whole Detroit Lions team. And this is why they're the best team in the National Football League, is because they turn this off and they play with this. They turn this off and they coach with this. And so, you know, going in and making those type of calls in that game where there's 4th and inches, you could win the game already. But he says, no, let's seal the deal on this. Let's get this first down, and then we'll kick this field goal and we'll win it and we'll go home and celebrate. So what a heck of a call by Dan Campbell. What a heck of execution by Jared Goff, falling down and still getting the ball to David Montgomery. Everything just encompasses, everything in that play and that transaction encompasses the Detroit Lions for me.
Outstanding game. Outstanding game. I wanted to get in the playoffs. We'll probably get it in the playoffs. Bottom line is, Packers, very good team. Lions, great team. That was a very good team that lost to a great team. That Lions team knows who they are, and they know how to win. And not how you think they should win or anybody else thinks they should win. They know how they think they should win. And in that situation, they thought they should win by running the ball and going for it on 4th and inches. I wake up this morning and I'm trying to see, is there some huge debate about this? Was there pushback? Is this a highly controversial call? Is Dan Campbell getting crap from this? And you search around and it's mostly a straw man argument. But there are a few people who are saying, terrible decision by Campbell. Reckless decision. He's crazy. To them, I would say, did you watch the game? And I'm asking this honestly. Did you watch the game? And I'm not talking about highlights. I'm not talking about social media clips. Did you watch the game? And if you did you really wake up saying that? I don't get it? Or did you wake up, see the scenario, and just start doing the math and saying the da-da-da-da? Because I will do some math for you right here on live TV. 12 minus 1 equals 11. 12 is the amount of games they've played. 1 is the amount of games they've lost. 13, you know what? I even did the math wrong. 13 is the amount of games they've played. 1 is the amount of games they've lost. And 12 is the amount of games that they have won. Yes, it was a risk for the Lions to make that decision. It was a risk that their coach, that their leader took, and it worked. A risk that their leader has taken 6 out of 7 times on 4th down against the Packers this season. I don't know how you get up this morning and say, man, if that didn't work. Of course, if it didn't work, it would be bad. But it did. And you either didn't watch the same game I did or didn't watch the game at all. He knows who he is. He knows who his team is. He knows his defense wasn't playing well. He knows Jordan Love was playing amazingly well. He sees 4th and inches, and he says, let's win, baby. And he does. I don't know how you get up this morning and say, I don't know. I know. I watched the game. The Lions won, as usual.
Yep, and they did it because not only was he playing with his emotion or his heart, he was also playing with his eyes. His eyes told him, and also, to the understanding, I know you said, the defense wasn't playing well. The defense was sick. They were hurt. But even playing wounded as they were, they still went out there and did their job. They were able to make sure it didn't get bad enough to where they couldn't win the game. Now, I say that going for it on 4th down, heck yeah, that's exactly what you want. And I'm going to tell you something. Players feed off of that when their coaches believe in them. That energy is real, and that's exactly. And thank God, too, for Jared Goff being 6'4". I mean, if he wasn't 6'4", if he was shorter, he would not have been able to make that handoff. Take out the lone go-go gadget arm handoff right there. I thought that was a spectacular play right there. And again, this situation, yes, I think we can all read the room here. That defense, sick, not playing well. You want to make sure your offense can end it right then and there. So he put them in that situation. I say give it up for Campbell on that one. Whoever is saying that this was a bad decision, no. Like, they were dominating on fourth down anyway. They only had one fourth down that they didn't convert over. So it's like, yeah, I can do it. I can go for fourth down. What are you going to do? That's exactly why I called this offense the main event. They do it in so many different ways. They can do you with the speed, and they can do you with the fast stuff. They can do you with the running back duel, the receivers. They can do it all, and they can win it in tight situations and on fourth downs.
They know how to win. There are really good teams and great rosters who don't know how to win. Look no further than the Lions' last win. End of the Lions-Bears game. The Bears had no idea how to win that game. They just don't know. Their coach didn't know, which is why he got fired. I don't know if even some of the young players know. The Lions know how to win this game. And I'll even go further. They get stuff there, and it doesn't work, and the Packers end up winning that game. There are a bunch of Lions who say, I don't give a damn. I still like that our coach went for it. I still love it. I respect it. That's who we are. Goff has said earlier in the week already, Campbell told them on Monday, guys, we're going to be a little crazy in this game. This Packers team is great. We're going to go for it on fourth down a lot. If it blows up in their face and it doesn't work, fine. Listen, there may be takes out there saying, Campbell's crazy. He's reckless. This is going to cost them in the playoffs. I think we know the dirty secret about the Lions. If they lose a playoff game, it's going to be because their defense has a bad game or a bad half or even a bad drive. The defense is not spectacular. Dan Campbell knows that. And I don't want to hear any of that crap about he disrespected the defense by going for it and not. The defense wasn't stopping anybody in that fourth quarter. He watched the game. He knew the game. He's in real time saying, let's snap the neck right now. Bum. I'm not giving the ball back to Jordan Love. Let's win it with David Montgomery. All that kneecap beating crap and all that we're going to fight. And that's not just rhetoric. When it comes to fourth and inches, that is kneecap time. That was 3-4 years ago he said that. He's still paying it off. And I can't believe anybody who's like, but my math says, shut up about your dumb math every once in a while. I respect the analytics community and everything like that. I also respect the physics community that says fourth and inches, you give it to David Montgomery and win the game. How do you disagree with that this morning?
I love it, KB. For me, you look at this Detroit Lions team and you think about the term that comes to mind is there's no flinch, there's no panic. Like Jared Goff throws the interception on their side of the field. Packers go, they take the lead. There's no panic. Jared Goff is frustrated on the sideline, but there's nobody throwing tablets. There's nobody arguing, fighting on the sideline. They go for fourth down, the fourth down that they didn't get in their own territory. They don't get it. There's nobody arguing. Like, nobody's looking at Dan Campbell, nudging him as they're running off the field and complaining. There is no panic on this team. Like, okay, cool, you're going to do pretty well. And the Packers did real good against the run offense last night against Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. You're going to take away Amon-Ra St. Brown. You're going to take away Laporta. Cool, we're going to hit Tim Patrick. We're going to give him 2 touchdowns. Like, this team knows how to win. The Achilles heel of the Detroit Lions for the past few years was the fact that they couldn't close out games. They'll play a really good first half, and then the second half would come out, like we saw that last year in the NFC Championship. The second half would come out, and they would just not perform, and they lost the NFC Championship because of this. This team not only wins the game with their offense, but we've seen so many times this year already that their special teams can also beat you. So again, the Detroit Lions are the best team in the National Football League, and they just proved it again last night.
Many of the reasons why we've fallen in love with Dan Campbell is because he's softened his heart with this pair of teacup Yorkies that he pictures all the time about his life, and then he's hardened his soul with going for it on fourth down. It's not just about going for it on that final conversion. It's not just about that. It's the fact that 2 touchdowns last night, 2 offensive touchdowns from Thursday came on the fourth down. 4 of the 6 offensive touchdowns that the Lions have scored against the Packers this season came on fourth down. This is not just a one-off decision for Campbell. This is who he is as a coach. He is taking his reputation and his name on this, and it is clearly working out because this is what we know the Lions to be in this era. Kyle, let me just run the frat house of the Alpha Lions Alpha with you. When a game is won by guys with the first name of Dan, Jared, Tim, Jake, and David, you know the Lions are going to win a game on a Thursday night, huh?
Yeah, listen, the best name in the whole roster, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Amon-Ra St. Brown didn't have a massive game. No. Amon-Ra was not a huge part of this game by his standards. It was, listen, we're not talking about at all about the Packers because they lost. Packers are very good.
Yeah.
Packers are a top 5 team in this league. They just stared down the best team in football and had them beat in so many different scenarios. The Packers proved a lot last night. They proved that they're really good. They're just not quite as good as the Lions right now. And they may beat them in the playoffs. They may. But they're going to have to do it in that stadium. And I just look at 12-1. It's an incredible, incredible record. And the last loss, guys, was 3 months ago. It's just, they are so good and so solid. And we're going to see a lot more of Green Bay in this season, and they're not done, but just Lions just a little bit better.